Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel RKJ Tutorials. So today I'm going to take a session on the topic related to introduction to marketing. Now this is a subject titled Principles of Marketing, which is one of the important subject that is studied in first semester BCom of Bangalore University, Bangalore Central University and Bangalore North University. Now these are the topics that I will be covering in this first series titled Introduction to Marketing. Now, these are my contents of presentation, the definition of a market, the meaning of marketing management, the scope of marketing, nature of marketing, approaches to marketing, functions of marketing, and finally the difference between marketing and sales. Now, talking about market, so market is basically a medium that allows both buyers and sellers to interact to each other because each of them do have their own needs and specifications. The buyer is going to buy a product because he has a need to be satisfied, whereas seller is selling a product with a profit motive or revenue generation. So this particular thing are going to interact together to bring both buyer and seller together. So whenever the buyers and sellers interact with each other, they interact for buying a product or a service. So product is a tangible thing, service is an intangible things. So whenever they interact, that interaction leads to the facilitation of exchange of product or services. So talking about market, the market can be either a physical marketplace, such as it can be a bazaar, a shopping center, or a mall, or it can be a virtual market where both buyers and sellers do not interact. So this is what you call as the online market or e-commerce market. So talking about the definition of marketing, so according to the American Marketing Association, marketing is defined as an activity, the set of institutions and the process of creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So it basically tells marketing is an activity where various institutions are involved, not only the company which manufactures the product, but also various institutions like transport agencies, the dealers, the wholesalers, and super stockists, C&F agents, and other institutions are interacting with each other. So this interaction happens in order to create, communicate, deliver the product offerings or service offerings between the buyers and sellers. So this is what you mean by marketing. So what is the meaning of marketing management? Marketing management is basically a process. So what is that process? So it is a process of developing strategies and planning for a product or service, advertising, promotion, direct marketing, publicity, sales promotion. Basically, this is done to reach to the customer. So transfer the ownership from the seller to the buyer. So this is how the marketing management is defined. So marketing management is also defined as the process of overseeing and planning a new product development, advertising, promotions, and sales, etc. So this is how the marketing management is defined. So what are the scopes of the marketing? The scope of marketing can be the set of 9 things what is being seen here: the goods, the services, the events, the experiences, the persons, the places, organizations, information, and ideas. So talking about goods, so when I say goods, it includes the product entities which are sold by the sellers. So these are tangible things, and these tangible things can be various categories. So this can be consumer durable goods, or it can be an FMCG products, or it can be an automobile product, or it can be a capital goods such as machineries which are used for converting the raw materials into the finished goods. And the intangible things basically includes the services which includes like the airline companies, hotels, restaurants, car rental firms, beauticians, software programmers, management consultants, retail banking services, etc., etc. So the events basically focuses on the trade shows or the exhibitions, company anniversaries, entertainment award shows, local festivals, health camps, and so on. So these events are basically conducted to bring the buyers to the place where they can buy the product or services. The fourth one is experiences. Whenever a company is selling a product, they're not only selling a product, they're also selling an experience which comes with the product. Now, for example, if Maruti Suzuki is selling a specific brand such as Maruti SX4, they're not only selling a car, they're selling the services which comes with it. What is that services? Now Bluetooth technology is incorporated in that car, which helps the driver to navigate easily in the road properly, and also it gives you a lot of informations pertaining to landscapes, the gardens, the restaurants, other gaming zones, the petrol bunks, and other informations. So this gives a very unique information to the driver. So he's not only driving the vehicle, he's also getting the experience while driving the vehicle. So that is how the experiences are created in the marketing. So talking about the fifth category, that is called persons, various individuals are involved in marketing. It can include the buyers, the sellers, the competitors, the wholesalers, retailers, okay, the marketing agency firms, the government entities. So like this, we have so many people involved in this. The fourth one is places. So places basically focus on the place of marketing a product. It can include a city, it can include a town, it can include a region or a country where both buyers and sellers are going to interact and buy the product. The seventh one is the organization, because when I say organization, I'm talking about the entire the group of functional entities within the organization. So when I say any company or organization, it includes various departments like marketing departments, sales department, production department, then you have HR department. So all these entities or departments has to function as one entity. Only then it can create a synergy effect. So that is going to enhance the overall the value of the firm. So that is what you mean by organization. So when I'm talking about organization, I have to focus on all the departments in the organization, which is going to add a value to the organization, which in turn adds value to a particular product. Now, for example, when you're buying any product of a Reliance industry, we not only buy a product, but also we are trying to get the information about an organization called Reliance. So we are talking about a company which is giving add-on value to a product when you are buying a product from an organization. The eighth one is called information, because any customer wants to buy a product is going to go for searching an information. So this information can come from the internet or educational institutions, encyclopedias, non-fictional books, specialized magazines, newspapers, so all these things. So these informations are required both for the buyers and sellers. So sellers require this information to target the customers in the market, whereas the buyers require this information to find out the potential sellers for a particular product. The ninth one is called as the idea, because whenever a company is selling a product, whenever it is marketing a product, it is not only marketing a product, it is also marketing a basic idea. So idea comes from the company research and development department. So they're going to have an idea of promoting this idea through a product. Now, for example, if Maruti Udyog Limited is promoting the car, they're not only promoting the car, but also they're promoting the idea of safe driving habits also. So it basically tells the customers of Maruti Udyog Limited to wear the seat belts whenever they're going to drive a car. So they are promoting the idea of product along with the idea of the safety whenever they buy this particular product. So this is how the idea is incorporated in marketing. So next, coming to the nature of marketing. So the nature of marketing basically tells how you're going to look the marketing from the different perspective. So first one is a dynamic process. So marketing is a continuous ongoing activity which doesn't stop at any step, because the needs, the taste and the preference of the customers keeps on changing. So as long it keeps on changing, the marketing strategies, the marketing entities has to keep on working to promote the product and services to the customers. So this is how the dynamic process is going to be created. The second one is called customer oriented. I think you heard about a word called customer is a king. So whenever a company is promoting a product, they have to assume that they are promoting this product to a customer who is a king for a company. Because as long as the customer is loyal to the company is able to sell a product. But once the customer changes his preference from the existing company to a competitor, automatically is going to lose the loyalty. So therefore, any company, when they want to promote a product, you have to analyze the product from the customer point of view. That means you have to analyze why the customer is buying the product, where he is buying the product, and how he is going to buy the product. So this is what you mean by the customer oriented. The third one is called all encompassing. So this basically means that the marketing is not a single process. It includes a multiple process which are integrated together to provide what is called as a synergy. So synergy means when you take the effects of individual departments of a company, and when you combine the overall the functioning of a company together, the overall functioning of the company has more value to the customer, to the market, as compared to the individual values of the each and every departments of a company. So this is what you called as a synergy. In the real terms, you can say synergy is nothing but 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. That means when you add the individual entities, the overall the value added to a product is much more compared to the values of individual entities taken into consideration. The fourth one is called integrating. So when you are integrating a particular a function in a marketing, it has to be integrated at various levels of the departments. I mean to say the production department, the purchase department, the IT department, HR department, so logistic departments. All these things are integrated together. Now, for example, the marketing department has to give the exact information to the production department regarding how much of sales of a particular product can be done. So this depends on the purchase department. So purchase department basically buy the raw materials, or production department. So production department in turns relies on the information given by marketing department regarding like how many products of different varieties of products that the company has to manufacture. So for this, you require the finance department, because the finance department has to finance uh, the production department, and in turn it has to finance the purchase department. So like this, all the departments are integrated together. So this is what you called as integration. The fifth one is called the creative. So creativity basically induces a new idea, the new concept, the newness in a particular product. So this newness gives a new look for a company or a product. So people always buy those things which looks new. So it gives a new views, a new activity, or which can solve a problem. So that is how the creativity induces the newness, or new ideas are generated. Through that new ideas, you can trap the customers in a particular market. If creativity is not there, it leads to the boring thing in a customer, and he may doesn't like the product. Now, for example, you heard about a car called Ambassador car. Hindustan Motors used to manufacture Ambassador car. So this car, over a period of time, they didn't undergo a change in their design. They didn't undergo a change in their technologies. So because of that, over a period of time, it has become absolute, and today it has gone out of the market. So whereas Maruti Udyog Limited, they keep on changing their designs. They keep on changing the new type of cars. They have a different varieties of cars which segment to different varieties of people. Okay, you have a mid segment, you have a upper segment categories of vehicles which comes under the nexa segment. So like for each and every customer you have a different type of vehicle, and some of the cars which are running in the market from the past 20-25 years, they are going for a rechange in the design, so called as facelifting. Now for example, if we talk about the Maruti Shift, which is there in the market from the past 25 years, still it is one of the biggest selling the brand of Maruti Udyog Limited, because over a period of 25 years they have changed the technologies in the car. They have done what is called as the facelifting, which gives a new look for the customer. So in that way, anything looks new, the customer likes it and tries to buy it. So this is how the creativity is a part of a marketing. Now, next one is talking to the approaches of marketing. Now, how do you analyze marketing from different angles, different approaches? The first one is called as the commodity approach. Here we're going to study product in detail. So we are going to analyze the product from different perspective, from the supplier point of view, the producer point of view, the policies of the company, the different middlemen. When I say middlemen, it includes the wholesalers, retailers, C&F agents. So all these people together, the company is going to analyze a particular product. So that is why commodity approach is also called as a product approach. So here we're going to study in detail each and every aspects of a particular product, how this product can solve a particular problem. So this is studied in detail. So this approach tends to be very repetitive and time consuming, because this product approach has to be done through the research and development, and it has to specifically identify a problem. So keeping that problem into consideration, the products are designed. So in product approach, we're going to tell how a particular product, when a customer is going to buy that particular product, how that specific product is going to solve a specific problem is identified and highlighted. So this approach is called as commodity approach or product approach. So the next approach is called as the decision making approach. Well, there are different people in any organization, the top management, the middle level management, and lower level management, uh, who are going to give decisions at different levels. Now, these decisions in a company is basically classified into two types. One is uncontrollable decisions and controllable decisions. See, uncontrollable decisions are those decisions which are affected by the macro markets or the macro factors. So, such as the economic environment, socio-cultural environment, psychological environment, political environment, technological environment, legal environment, like that. So, these are all macro factors. Uh, uh, these cannot be controlled by any company. On the other hand, there are certain controllable variables or factors which can be controlled in decision making process. For example, the technology, the product preference, the color of the product, the packaging, the distribution network, okay, the different ingredients what you have to add in creating a new product. So all these things can be controlled by the organization. So therefore they are called as controllable variables. So next approach is called the institutional approach. So this approach relates to various marketing institutions such as the wholesalers, retailers who are engaged in the marketing process. So in short, it can be said as this approach is applicable on various types of marketing intermediaries. That means in institutional approach, we are going to analyze the marketing thing from the various intermediaries who are there in the between the manufacturer as well as the buyer. The next approach is called as the functional approach. So, as the name itself suggests, this approach comprises of study of various activities or functions performed in process of marketing of goods and services. So, this functional approach can include buying, selling, financing, transporting, banking, risk bearing, marketing information. So, each of these is basically one function. So when you are analyzing marketing from functional approach, we have to look into different parameters like buying, selling, financing. So many things are involved. So that is how the functional approach is taken for analyzing marketing. The next one is called the legal approach. So this approach basically emphasizes one thing: the transfer of ownership. So whenever the seller is selling a product, he is not only selling a product, but also he is transferring the ownership from the seller to a buyer. So it explains the regulatory aspects of the marketing. The regulatory authorities going to play an important role in the market. And in India there are different legal aspects also you have to study. In India there are different types of the acts which are bound to influence the marketing of a product or services. Like we have Indian Contract Act, then we have Sales of Goods Act, then you have COPRA Act, that is called Consumer Protection Act. So these acts are going to have a great degree of influence on marketing of a product or a service. Then we have the economic approach. So this approach deals with only three things. What are that one? Supply, demand, and price. So whenever demand increases, automatically the price also increases. So in order to reduce the price, you have to increase the supply. But when supply increases more than the demand, automatically the demand falls, leading to the fall in price. So therefore, demand, supply, and price are interrelated. So that is how we're going to study the economic approach. In economic approach, we'll be studying three things, the interrelation between the three things. So what are those three things? Supply, demand, and price. So next one is societal approach. So in societal approach, here the marketing process is regarded as by means of society meets its own consumption needs. That means we are looking at a broader perspective, not as on one particular individual, but the collective customers in a target market. So when I say market, it includes the various categories of customers who have different needs. So you are looking at the society as a whole. So when you're focusing on a society, you have to look at a broader perspective, meeting the demands of a particular region or a particular country or a particular place into consideration. So attention here to be paid into the ecological factors, because many times so happens that we compromise on the environmental things by focusing more on selling of product. So I mean to say the ecological factors. So what are these ecological factors? It can be socio-cultural factors, legal factors. So all beliefs, values, ethical code of conduct. So these are things we have to take into consideration, especially when you're advertising a product. Many times we see that many companies do advertise the products which doesn't have a proper ethical code of conduct. So when you're looking at the society into consideration, we have to look into all these factors in general. So therefore marketing decisions and the impact on the society's well-being is studied in this particular approach. Then we have system approach. So approach is also called a synergy approach. As I told earlier, 2 plus 2 is equal to 5, where the individual entities overall effect is compared with the overall the organization, the organizational, the value will be more compared to the individual entities put together. So this is what is called as the system approach. In system approach, we focus on interrelations and interconnections among the various functions of marketing in order to create a synergy, and holistic effects are measured here. So holistic development is also taken into consideration. So next we focus on the functions of marketing. So the functions of marketing can be the following types. One is merchandising function, physical distribution function, and the third one is facilitating function. So merchandising function. So what do you mean by merchandising? So merchandising is a process of selling or marketing a product using sales promotion, advertising, direct marketing, publicity. So it is a means of communicating a product to a end user by using various communication mix. So when I say communication mix, it includes direct marketing, personal selling, sales promotion, advertising, and publicity. So by using all these things, you try to sell a particular product or try to market a particular product to a consumer. So that is what is called merchandising function. So any merchandising function includes three things: buying, selling, and assembling. So buying is nothing but the buyer who is going to buy a particular product. So in order to buy a particular product, the company has to convert the raw material into finished product. So only the finished product is going to have a buying value. And similarly, the selling can happen only if you are understanding the need of the customer and trying to sell a product which can satisfy his need. So assembling basically means creation and maintenance of stock of goods purchased from different sources. That means if in order to sell a particular product, you should have a sufficient quantity of stock of products. That means the product has to be kept in a warehouse or in a shelf. So this is what is basically called as assembling. The next function is called physical distribution function, which includes the transportation or logistic function, storage and warehousing. The third one is called the facilitating function. These are the function which indirectly is going to influence the marketing. That is the financing, because many of the customers, when they buy a product, may not buy the product on cash and carry basis. Sometimes they buy on credit, they buy on EMI. So there the financing comes into picture. So risk bearing is always there, because when you're marketing a goods, it involves innumerable risk, like risk of theft, distortion, accidents, and other things. So this risk has to be taken into consideration before the company markets a product to the end user. The third one is the standardization. So what do you mean by standardization? Standardization basically ensures that whatever the product that you're selling follows a certain set of standards. Now, for example, when a jewelry company is selling a gold uh, with an hallmark or with a KDM, it ensures that it is following that standard. I mean to say, 24 karat gold standard set by the hallmark is actually followed by the company. So people buy the product just because that particular product is having that particular standard. Okay, like that, each and every product do have a particular standard. Similarly, if you're buying an electronic item, you're looking at ISI mark. So ISI mark basically ensures that the specific standards are followed and product is manufacturing or manufactured keeping the safety standards. So in that way, standard is introduced in the marketing. So apart from this, you also have other facilitating functions like pricing. So pricing also plays an important function, because pricing can either increase the sales or decrease the sales. So other one is branding. So anything to be sold, it should have a proper branding. So branding basically includes the process of giving a brand name to a particular product. So name also matters to a very large extent in selling a product. The slogan which is used for selling a particular product. So anything to be recognized in this present scenario, competitive scenario, branding plays an important role. So any product which is not properly branded, it becomes very difficult to sell a product, because branding gives a very unique identity or recognition to a company. So this recognition or uniqueness creates some sort of an advantage for the company to sell a product to a buyer. The next one is advertising. Advertising is it basically is a defined and paid form of non-personal communication, where we use the various type of media like print media, audiovisual media, billboards, hoardings, and displays to sell a product. So then we have a sales promotion. Sales promotion is basically done through exhibitions. We have various offers are given, like buy two get one offers. Then you have other benefits which are given, like gift coupons, scratch cards, and other things are given. This becomes a part of a marketing activity, is called as the sales promotion. Then we have a packaging. Now, packaging is not only done to protect the product inside the package, but also it gives a very unique identity. So packaging is basically used to represent a brand of a company. So good packaging always enhances the brand value of a company. So in that way, packaging plays a very important role. So apart from the four P's, that is the product, price, place, and promotion, we also take the fifth P, which is called packaging, as one of the most important P's of marketing. Then we have marketing information, that is information pertaining to the customers, the dealers. You have to understand the purchasing power of customers in a market, the availability of the product, brand preference, the taste and habits, the living standards, the competitor strategies. There are so many things which you have to get this information from the market. So this is what is called as the marketing information. So marketing information is nothing but information required for the company to market a product to a customer. Then we have a market research. So this is basically a research undertaken by the marketing manager or the field force in order to collect information about the competitor brands, wholesalers, retailers, and to find out what is the current trend of the market, how the market is reacting to the new product or the existing product. So all this information has to be given to the company. So this is what is basically is marketing research. Then we have a marketing intelligence. So it is basically a set of procedures or sources used by managers to obtain their everyday information about pertinent development in the marketing environment. That means the company has to keep the up to date latest information about what is happening in the market. So that is where the marketing intelligence is going to come actually. So the last topic that I'll be covering for today's class is what is the difference between the sales and marketing. So many people think that both sales and marketing are one and the same, but sales and marketing are totally different concepts. Sales actually starts from a product, whereas marketing is going to start from a consumer. So you have a product, you have to sell it. So that is what is called sales. So whereas the consumer perspective is taken in marketing. So you are selling a product not just because that you have a product, but the customer is asking the product, the customer has a need, so therefore you are selling the product. So this is what is called as the consumer perspective. Whereas in sales, we're going to focus on the product perspective. Sales helps an organization to understand how to sell a product to a consumers, whereas marketing helps an organization to understand what the customer needs, what the customer is demanding. So that is we are going to focus on. Sales helps an organization to get a customer, whereas marketing helps organization to develop a product. So when you're developing a product, you have to think a need of a customer and you have to develop the product in such a way that it fits to the need of a customer. So when you're developing a product, keeping the need of a customer, automatically you can increase the sales. So automatically you can market the product. So sales helps an organization to convert prospects into paying customers, whereas marketing helps the organization to generate interest for its product among its consumers. So that is how you go going to do it actually. So the horizon of sales function is very short, whereas horizon of marketing is a long term. So selling is like you have a product, you have to sell it, and you have a target. So you have to sell this particular product this month, this many number of units. So that is how the sales happens. So once the sales happens, your target is achieved, so your job is done. But in marketing, it is not like that. So it is a continuous process. So you have to understand the customer. You have to keep on engaging the customer, not only at the time of selling, even after selling the product. So therefore, it is a long-term process. Sales is a push strategy because you have a product, you're pushing the product to a customer. Therefore, it is called as a push strategy, whereas marketing is a pull strategy. Sales is generally one to one. That means when you are selling a product, you are selling from to one particular person, whereas marketing is done to many people. We are going to use advertising, we are going to use sales promotion to attract not one individual or not one customer, but a group of customers. So the typical sales activities are distribution, retailing, so one-to-one customer interaction, objection handling, product delivery. So this is what basically sales includes. Whereas a typical marketing activities are brand strategy. So brand strategy, consumer research, product development, advertising, pricing. So all these things are integrated together. So that is how there is a difference between sales and marketing. So many people do say that sales is a part of marketing, but marketing definitely is not a part of sales. So that is how there's a unique difference between the sales and marketing. So so that's it for today. I hope that you got the brief overview about the various concepts that I've explained in the introduction to marketing. So this is the part one of the introduction to marketing. Uh, Students, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and don't forget to press the bell icon. So if you press the bell icon, you'll be getting latest updates and latest videos, and you'll be able to get the latest information. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.